What's up, everybody? This is Pretender here, and this is not Brink. It's obviously the Gears of War 3 beta, and it's not Brink because Brink is generally unplayable 9 out of 10 times. I did put a video up today, and that's my second and only non-lagging game that I've played. No, it's not even just that I've been able to record. Apparently they don't even have servers, it's peer-to-peer, so something is screwed up with their netcode, and hopefully it will be fixed within the next few days. But basically, pretty much you go and play Brink online on the 360 and it's probably not going to work 90% of the time because it's laggy to the point that it's like when Reach would switch to migrating host. It's like always like that. It doesn't even try. So anyways, like I said, I've got a part 2 Brink gameplay coming out. I'll do a little more in-depth on the customization later, and I'll also probably end up doing a pseudo review of it in my opinions. But until then, Gears of War 3 beta, there's only 5 days left. I only got into it because they had not the friends of the family, but basically Microsoft gave everyone a code who was in the beta in the first place, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on one of those codes. So here we go, Gears of War 3 beta. Now, I joined a match in progress here, obviously, again, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. It looks like there's still a little bit of time left. So my thoughts on this beta. It's a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. It's a huge departure from Gears 2, which is the last that I played. I never played Gears 1 online because I kind of got the impression that that was terrible, and maybe that's a good thing that people enjoyed, the fact that you could like constantly hack and just generally not play the game as it's intended. But I personally enjoy playing games because they offer immersion, and I don't really want to be running around and being a moron floating in the sky and etc., etc. So I try and play them as they're intended. That's kind of why I don't like Modern Warfare 2 also. But this game is fast. That's another thing that I noticed. It is very fast. Things move along like much quicker than they seem to have in Gears 2 multiplayer, and maybe that's just me, and maybe it's the maps being small, but I know for sure the movement speed has been increased. They've tweaked that a little bit. It's not, I don't think it's as fast as it was in Gears 1, but it's faster than it was in Gears 2, which frankly was terrible. The movement speed in that game was freaking garbage, and I'm ashamed that they even... never mind. I'm not gonna go on about that. I didn't play it too much anyway. So yeah, I've died already. I'm a meat shield right now. This must be very entertaining. Yeah, I'm not too good at this game actually. I have a gameplay that I put up of my first game, which I thought you guys would find interesting. It's actually probably not being put up because right now I'm rendering, not rendering, I'm rendering some Brink gameplay. So here's this. The Brink gameplay audio is a little off, I should mention that, because I don't know why. It's a lot of various reasons. One thing that I should say is that my quality has been going up and down recently, and I'm just going to go back to my original method of using virtual dub and then overlaying, Audacity or Sound Booth audio onto it, which works great. Unfortunately, then you can't actually hear any in-game audio, which a lot of people don't like, and I understand that. So I'm working on the quality. Hopefully I'll be able to get it working better later. And I'm gonna die, yeah, daddy. And audio, not audio. Yeah, the audio is a little off too, but like I said, I'm gonna stick with the virtual dub for a while until I can get the quality in like Premiere Pro or something dialed in, because right here I can get decent, like it's still fuzzy, but I can get pretty good widescreen 1080, not 1080p obviously, but that's what it renders it to. And so it's a little fuzzy, but I think it looks pretty decent. So that's what I'm gonna stick with until I can get another piece of software to work correctly. And also that the parkour video that I did of Brink, the reason that has voices that sound like chipmunks, etc., is because I was recording at 60 frames a second and the game runs at 30. And wow, that's... holy cow. Okay. So yeah, I was recording at 60 frames a second and it runs at 30 frames a second, and 30 frames a second is obviously half of 60. Thusly, it was increasing the speed by double because it was inserting frames every other frame, literally. So, there it is. So I guess I should probably be talking about the beta again. Another complaint of mine, I guess, I don't know if I've had any yet, but Man, Reticle Bloom is frigging retarded. I'm sorry, but I mean, I could handle it in Reach because it had kind of a purpose, and I guess it was just different because in Reach, you could compensate for it. I mean, in this, for example, look, it like instantly is full bloom, and I do not like that in the least. So yeah, I think that the reticules get huge way too fast, and I think that it's really, I mean, if your game didn't have it in the first place, you probably didn't need it because it's okay for games like Call of Duty to have because they're trying to be realistic, but I mean, seriously, Gears of War didn't need Reticle Bloom, and I think they have a worse game for it, unfortunately. Hopefully it'll get fixed a little bit in the next, before the game comes out. But I mean, it's not terrible. Not all the guns have it. I think like the pistols and stuff don't have the animation that goes along with that. But I'm sure there's still the fact, and that's another thing is that I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, that there still was Reticle Bloom present in the other games. It just didn't show it to you, and it probably wasn't as ridiculous. So, for what I mean is, for example, in Halo 3, obviously there was no visible Reticle Bloom in that game. I shot my own teammate. But it still had it. So what you mean by that? What I mean by that is your shots progressively became less accurate in that game, and so it was still there. But like then in Reach, you can actually see it. It's a little more annoying, and that may be the same situation with this game, but. Like, I just think that when you're shooting, it's like 1, 2. It takes literally 2 seconds for your thing to be at full bloom, and I find that unreasonable and ridiculous and annoying as heck. So now that I've complained about the Reticle Bloom for 10 minutes, otherwise I think it's definitely fun. Like I said, it's a lot faster, although this gameplay isn't a good demonstration of that. I can't seem to find anybody, and I know that's not how Gears works, but it would be nice if we could just get a team deathmatch that wasn't, you only get a life, or you gotta respawn every 5 seconds. No, that's wrong. You respawn a lot longer than that, and there's still there's like a lives counter. It's kind of like Bad Company 2, so there's tickets. So I guess any Battlefield, it's like there's tickets, but there's only like 12 lives that you get in the first place. I think that's a little annoying too. Definitely could have done without that. Sawed-off shotgun. Whew. That thing is wicked powerful, but I never can get a kill with it, and I don't know why. So here's my point. There we go. I gotta wait 12 seconds to respawn or something, and I don't know. Gears gameplay is slow, and that's part of the series, and they really sped up how I think in this game. But I personally think that it wouldn't hurt anybody to include a playlist that had respawning until the match was over, because it would only be satisfying morons like me who can't handle not respawning constantly, and that doesn't, it would maybe be a good training ground for people, since respawning it doesn't punish you, but it teaches you're trying to not have to wait 10 seconds to respawn. So obviously I guess it does punish you. So respawning, if you could learn how to play the game really easily with being able to respawn whenever you wanted, versus getting in here and it's like in the other games it must have been even worse, because you got your one life and then you gotta wait the whole match. Like if you screw up at the beginning, I remember that always sucks. So I'm -1 right now. Been complaining a lot, and that looks like it's the end of the match. That was a terrible match, and I'm sorry that you guys have to watch that. It must be pretty painful to have to see me get brutally murdered over and over again. But anyways, yeah, that was my second game I've ever played. I'm gonna go play this some more and then bring you guys some decent gameplay. Also, I have another one I'll be posting up soon. So rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks.